We need to talk about something that is plaguing American politics, specifically in the news, because the news has this just absolute hate boner for Donald Trump, and it's annoying, it's weird, and honestly, I used to find it funny, but now I'm getting kind of sick of it. Welcome back to the Trevor Report. Let's jump right on to it. So we have this from the Washington Post, we have this from the New York Times, we have this from CNN. And what do they all have in common? Now, they have more in common than this, okay? In fact, you'll find that every mainstream media article, corporate press article, I prefer the term corporate press over mainstream media because it's more accurate, okay? CNN isn't the mainstream. You could see its views plummeting and coming down. No. What do all of these outlets have in common? What they have in common is they have a large unifying will that ties them together. Curtis Yarvin talks about that. He calls it the cathedral, and he explains it in great detail over on his Substack, Gray Mirror, which I read at length on a previous Trevor Report. You just have to click the link down below in the description and check all that out for yourself. But anyway, let's read from the Washington Post and see if we can find any more things that are similar. GOP lawmakers largely silent after Trump suggests termination of Constitution. Trump's call for termination of Constitution draws rebukes. Trump calls for the termination of the Constitution in True Social Post. What did he actually say? Well, what Trump actually said was a massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. That's the actual quote. Okay? And here's a neat little industry secret when it comes to dealing with the absolute failure of any journalistic integrity, the absolute failure of any kind of researching from the corporate press. Okay, what we need to understand is that there is an entire industry that is predicated on lying about Trump for whatever reason. Okay, and just sort of, and it's not just that they lie about Trump; they also lie about everyone else. You'll see this. You'll see this theme here. There is this pattern with the cathedral that it's just predicated on lies. It's predicated on lying for the sake of propping up lies because we have in our society about a third of it that are just a bunch of weird cultists who are absolutely obsessed with just consuming drivel and garbage. Okay, because they want to, like, it's a strange thing hearing people who you'd think would be against the institution saying, well, it's not strange or ironic, I expect it because I've been doing this for a while, but nevertheless, you start to recognize that it's not just that people it's not that people whom the term woke applies to. It's not that they're in a cult. It's that they have an addiction. And honestly, I feel really sorry for them. Like it's absolutely absurd. There are people who aren't in the news business like I am that probably read this Washington Post article at length. There are people who aren't in the news business that probably read this New York Times article at length. There are people who read this CNN politics video read the CNN politics article at length that aren't in the news business. There are people who read these articles, okay, but didn't try to check to see if it was true. And we have this from, the Andres Segovia, a fellow Acropolis affiliate, by the way, Pello. Anyway, so he says, when I heard it on the mainstream media, I assumed to be wrong. Trump wouldn't say anything like that. I thought, I'm glad I was right, but in all fairness, this quote is easily taken out of context. And there is what I would like to call, not Occam's razor, but it's of, crap, I did not mean to click that. Hang on. There is a, okay, it's called, like, it's based off of Occam's razor, right? The simplest solution, or the simplest answer is the best solution, or the best answer, right? This is Trump's razor, and with Trump's razor, it goes as follows: if it's from the corporate press, it's a negative statement, and it's about Trump, it's out of context. It really is that simple. I wish I could trust the corporate press institutions, but no, that's part of the reason why I made Acropolis News Network, is because, like, come on. You know? People, like, even if it's just a little bit, I need to, like, I guess, prove in real time this sheer nonsense. And that's why I do recap shows, so that I could do the full context of things, okay? But then we have from Democrats.org, oh my, constitutional conservatives have nothing to say about Trump calling for ripping up of the Constitution. Yeah, it's because it was taken out of context. And people who are constitutional conservatives probably like to read things in full context. They talk about Trump a little bit, but they do like the weird half embed tweets, you know, and it's like, oh, the Daily Beast and the Washington Post, democracy dies in darkness, where they just like come on, like it's obvious that there is an industry to this, and I think a counter industry needs to be made to this. I want people addicted to the truth. You know, call me crazy, call me old fashioned. That's what I think. In the meantime, name's Trevor Brown. You just watch Trevor Report. Click the link tree down below in the description, or I guess click the support link. I should start saying that down in the description. Thank you so much.
Acropolis News. News from the Acropolis.